What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Walknupsyncd Podcast, another episode. I'm your host, Hellcat. Just a reminder to support the Walknupsyncd Podcast, the Cash App and PayPal, and put in your votes for ILCAT 2028 at the Cash App and the PayPal. Every vote counts. I have a little bit of money right now, but running out. Running low on food and water. Or not water yet, but need all the help I can get. Cash App, PayPal. They be Walknupsyncd. They sync me on the jobs and they be Walknupsyncd. After the video this morning, what happened? I forgot. Something happened. It was Walknupsyncd. Do you hear the car honking? He's Walknupsyncd. Do you hear the motorcycle? He's Walknupsyncd. And a bunch of other cars are Walknupsyncd. I see a bunch of other cars that are Walknupsyncd. But there's that one guy on that video though, on that last video did, where he hits the crosswalk thing, but there's no cars coming. Like he hits the crosswalk button. Like it's not a stoplight or anything. It's just an intersection, and it has like a crosswalk button that you can press, and the flashing lights turn on. But there was no cars coming at all. And he hit it right when I walked up to the intersection, like the block before that. And he's walking out in front of me and hitting that right when I walk up to the intersection. And there was no cars coming, like he's hitting it for no reason. And then he gets across the street right when I get across the street, and then he goes in the door synced. And then I'm yelling over at him. I'm like, hey, why did you hit that? There's no cars coming. You don't need to do that, you know, dude? And then he's just like looking down and like looking like forward, like he's like purposely ignoring me, like acting like I don't exist, which they'll always be doing. They'll just be like acting like I don't exist. And sometimes they'll look like ashamed, like they'll be looking down, like avoiding eye contact with me. I saw this kid doing that the other day. I was walking by me. He's like a high school kid. He's like looking down at the sidewalk, and he looks like sad, like he's like ashamed. I don't know. I think he was stalking me, but I don't know if that guy was stalking me, that kid, but I think he was. But a lot of them that are stalking me, they'll look like that. They'll be like looking down, and they'll look like sad and ashamed. Or just whatever, they're just avoiding eye contact with me because someone's in their ear, like, don't look at him, look forward. Or they'll be driving by me and they'll be looking forward, like it's like there's being told to look forward or whatever. Like, or there's the car that drove by me on the one video the other day where she's like looking forward but honking at me as she drives by, like not looking at me but honking as she drives by the but yeah, he hit that crosswalk thing for no reason, and then I hit it when I walk up to it just because I'm just like recording, and I'm like, look, you push this and there's no cars coming. Wow, that makes sense, right? But then there's this car coming up the street and it stops because I pushed that thing, but I kept walking like the other way across the intersection, like I wasn't crossing the street in front of it. But it like slows down, like it's gonna stop, and then it speeds up again, and it meets me right when I get across the street, and it's a white car. So that happened on the last video. Just two, not like the guy hitting the crosswalk button, and then the car after it just doing nonsensical things. Like, he can see the street, you know, like he can see that there's nobody walking across it. He can see that I kept walking the other way. So, like, yeah, the crosswalk thing is going off, but, like, why is he stopping, though? There's nobody crossing it. Like, it's not a red light. He doesn't have to stop because it's blinking, you know? Like, if there's nobody crossing it, why are you stopping? Just to meet me when I get across the street, perfectly robotically timed? Because that's what it looks like. Because why else would you be stopping, and why else would you be hitting the crosswalk button when there's no cars coming? Are they stock-tarded? But I just keep asking them, though, as they drive by me and shit. I'll be like, why do you sing? And, like, nobody can answer me. Most of them act like I don't exist. And then occasionally there'll be somebody that's like, huh? Why do I what? Why do I sing? Why do I think? Huh? I'm like, no, why do you think? But most of them act like I don't exist, and like, it's fucked up. They just treat me like I don't exist. So this is the Walknupsyncd Podcast. Trying to think what else happened. A bunch of sync mobiles. I saw that. A bunch of sync birds. There's a truck outside right now. He's sinking. He's sinking when he turns into the parking lot right after I walk up to my window. I don't think I've seen any cops yet this morning or heard any sirens yet. I think there was a train horn though, if I remember right. I don't remember. There was a lot of sync mobiles though, and I remember that, and a lot of birds. And then when I walk by the gas station, there's somebody coming out of it. When I walk across the intersection right before it, and then there's somebody coming out of the door next to me when I walk by the door of the building, the gas station. And then there was Walknupsyncd. And then a car pulled up and parked right next to me. And then they get out of it, and then they go in the door of the building next to me. And then they go, Walknupsyncd. So that's what happened this morning. That's what happens every day. They be Walknupsyncd. Like I said, this morning I woke up, it was like quiet. I woke up at like 5 a.m. or something. And then I go in my bathroom and there's like engine sound, like synced with me walking in my bathroom or something, I forget. It's like a loud engine sound outside. And then I think my toilet was trolling me when I flushed it as always. And then when I came out of my bathroom, I hear my neighbor walking around, just hear the floorboard creaking as he walks around, and just do it like one time. It's just like, So I heard that when I walked into the room, when I came out of the bathroom, and then I heard that again, like as I'm putting my shoes on to go out the door, and then when I go out in the hallway, I'm tying my shoe again. Because like I had something in my shoe, so I took my shoe off, and then I tie it again, and then there's a loud engine sound outside at the same time. And then I go outside, and then there's a truck driving in front of me, and then the loud engine sound is sinking at the same time again, like down the street from me. There's a truck driving in front of me at the exact same time right when I come out the door. And then from that point on, there was Walknupsyncd, just a bunch of cars and birds, Walknupsyncd. The entire time I was outside. So, like, I didn't hear a bunch of cars driving outside and shit when I woke up, you know what I mean? Like, it's just quiet mostly, except for the one engine sound and my neighbor walking around. And then I go outside and it's Walknupsyncd. The entire time I'm out there, from the moment I step out the door to the moment I step back in the door. And every intersection is Walknupsyncd. And then when I got back to my apartment, my neighbors were tapping on the walls. Like right as I'm walking in the door of my apartment, it was Walknupsyncd. I saw a bird fly over the intersection as this, what truck is this? He synced with it. The silver truck with another silver car right behind it, and they synced with another silver car, and then it synced with a FedEx and another car and a bunch of other cars that are synced, and Walknupsyncd. And there's birds flying over that look like they're Walknupsyncd. On that last video, I was like, these birds are driving up next to me. I meant to say flying, but whatever, there was Walknupsyncd. The birds be Walknupsyncd. Then I saw a rabbit that was like sitting on the grass, and it runs into the trees, and then right when I walk by where the rabbit ran into the trees, there's a white SUV driving by me, and there's a bird flying up and landing on a tree right as it drives by me. And it's like anytime I see rabbits, anytime I see squirrels, anytime I see birds, at least 95% of the time they're gonna be seen. There's a lot of birds out there, you know, so like sometimes it's hard to tell with the birds, especially because there's a lot of birds flying around all the time. So, but most of them that I see are synced, especially if they're close by to me. And like even if it's like a giant flock of birds, it'll be synced. Like they'll all be flying around synced. The flock of birds will fly out synced, and then fly over me synced, and then fly around synced, and then it'll sync with another flock of birds or whatever, or one bird will sync with the flock of birds will fly this way, and another bird will be flying this way at the exact same time directly in front of me, and shit like that. Maybe Walknupsyncd. And I see a bunch of cars the entire time talking Walknupsyncd. And it's the Walknupsyncd Podcast. We're at 15 minutes now, so I think it's probably a long enough video. It's Walknupsyncd Podcast. If you got $1, send it to the Cash App or PayPal. Every vote counts. The LCAT 2028 campaign. We're going to stop the Walknupsyncd when I'm president in 2028. But until then, it's the Walknupsyncd Podcast. I'm going to have to rename the podcast in 2028. What's the podcast going to be called? Because there's going to be no more Walknupsyncd when I'm president, so I'm going to have to think of a new podcast name. I heard this, I don't know if you can hear the engine sound. He's syncing with this white van driving by. It's like a quieter engine sound. You might not be able to hear it. You might have to turn the volume up all the way to hear it. But it was Walknupsyncd. Then I see black and silver trucks that are synced with each other. I don't see any chemtrails this morning though. It's completely blue sky today. Did they cancel all the flights today? There's no contrails out here spraying water vapor. Did they cancel all the flights today? What's happening? I see a tan van. It's Walknupsyncd. So I think that's it for the Walknupsyncd podcast. I think I talked about it all, the Walknupsyncd. Then right before I got back to my apartment, there was somebody with their children syncing. Getting out of the car with their children syncing next to me. Walknupsyncd. So that's it, the Walknupsyncd Podcast. I'm going to end the podcast, and then they're going to start making noises. My neighbor's going to cough or something. So somebody's probably going to walk by in the hallway right now or something. So, Walknupsyncd.